Hey, Tony Gaskins here. Now, I had an interesting comment from a gentleman on a video I posted and talking about, the title that you see, which I don't know how YouTube feel about real conversations. Because, and ironically, sometimes they will, flag a color or race, so we'll see. But the gentleman commented, he said, not all, but a lot of black women are not, he used some terms like friendly or submissive and peaceful or something. He used some terms. I posted it on the community page. And then another guy commented, and then they wonder why 1 in 5 get married. And I posted that. And then I saw a comment on where I posted in the community page, I think from a Nigerian woman who says she feel like, for the most part, that is true about black women not being friendly or not being submissive. Now, I honestly, I live in the world, and I had dealt with over 100 women by the age of 21. And y'all know what I mean by dealt with. Dated, but dealt with. Over 100 women by the age of 21. And unfortunately, that's terrible. Unfortunately, not a lot of men do that. Not a lot of men are able to do that. I believe a lot of men would do it if they were able to, but it's only certain types of men that get to do that. And I'm not bragging about that. That's not anything that men should be proud of. But I was just talking to a guy yesterday who, he's probably around 5'6", 5'7", real nice guy, black male. And I was telling him about my life and the things that I did. And he was like, wow, man, you were that guy. And I'm not bragging about that, but that's how men look at that. Not understanding that when we are operating from that place, we're operating from a place of weakness. When we're dealing with a bunch of women, sleeping with a bunch of women, from a place of insecurity, from a place of immaturity. But what that allowed me to do is to collect a lot of real world data. So then when I started sharing the game, when I changed my life and I got married at 23, and I saw that my mom was suffering, my sister was suffering, my homegirls that I grew up with, that I knew were suffering in relationships, I started teaching them, this is why you're suffering. Because this is what you're doing wrong. This is what you don't understand about men. This is what you don't know. And this is why you keep getting played. Because I had been a player. So I was able to teach what we call from the horse's mouth. And so I dated white women, 3 serious relationships in a row with white women. And before that, I dated black women. And after that, I dated black women. I've dated Hispanic women. And not really Asian women. I was around Asian women, but where we was from, Asian women was kind of like few and far in between. And then the ones that was there, like they would sleep with black guys, but the Asian race is even more so segregated in a lot of ways when it comes to relationships to blacks than whites are. A lot of people don't realize that. There are Asian women with a black man, but a lot of times an Asian woman gonna get her a white man if she's gonna date outside of her race. And the same statistic where they say, oh, the Asian dollar stays in its community for 16 days, but the black dollar leaves its community in 6 minutes or something like that, or 6 days. The same way you see these Asian towns in all the major cities, and they live and coexist and they benefit each other and they circulate their money through their community. That's the same way they really want to do their relationships too, and to preserve their race. And so that's just that's the majority. There is, some changing. But Hispanic women, of course, some Hispanics separate themselves from Mexicans. And some Mexicans say that they are Hispanic. And I learned this in coaching, because I will coach a Mexican woman and she will say she's Hispanic. Then I will coach another Mexican woman and she will say she's not Hispanic. And the reason being, and one Mexican woman told me out of her mouth, now this ain't me speaking for people, and all of us could speak to somebody, but the thing is me having 3.5 million people online, my pool of who I get to hear from and speak from is much, much larger than the everyday person who talking to one person, talking to their friend group. I'm talking to a world group. Me and my son got on the bus in Paris and a lady knew who I was. We were in Germany and a lady knew who I was. We're in Africa and they know who I am. We're in the UK, they know who I am. And so when we go to Mexico, they know who I am. Everywhere we go in the world, I bump into somebody who know me from online. So I'm saying that to share with you that my pool of research is much larger than somebody watching this video who has not built their following yet. So I want you to understand, this ain't just coming, just me pulling stuff out of thin air. One Mexican woman told me Mexicans like whites and Puerto Ricans like blacks. That could be because Puerto Rican a lot of times are part black and have black in them, have more black in them. A Mexican might have 10% black and don't know it, because everybody come from Africa. The human race come from Africa. And so we have this thing to where now a lot of black men feel like that black women are not submissive, and that white women or other races, white and Asian women, are submissive. And what those black men don't understand, and I went through this in real life, I have never caught a black woman cheating on me physically. And this me being me. I know black women cheat. And I know black men have been cheated on by a black woman. But I've never caught in my life a black woman cheating on me physically. Could be like answering messages or talking to a guy or to an ex or to an old friend. But the physical act of cheating, like sleeping with the person, I have not bumped into that with a black woman that I've dealt with. Now, here's the other thing. My white girlfriend in college slept with 4 of my teammates and one of the basketball players. I played football. All 5 of them was black. 2 of them ran the train on her. So, you see what I'm saying? I cheated on her with 8 other women. When my black male teammates told me she had cheated on me because they was looking out for me as a black man, even though they didn't like me because of our difference with women. So the guy who told me was a black man from PG County. His girlfriend was a black woman from PG County. She liked me before she liked him. So that made him not like me, because she would talk about me and she liked me. And when she first came to the school, she was walking past me. And when she walked past me, she was with her family, with her mom, her dad. And when I seen her, she was a kind of ways away. And I said, is there any more room for me in those jeans? Genuine. And I sung that. And she was like, and then one day I was sitting down with my white girlfriend at the lunch table, and we sat with her and her boyfriend or some other black girls and some people. And when I sat down in front of her, she looked at me and she said, "You're a waste of a fine black man." Because she was upset that I was talking to a white girl. Now, the white girl, I met her in the library. And on the first night, she slept with me. She came, she got my instant messenger. We was talking. I said, hey, you want to get out of here? She said, yeah. We went right to the room and we slept together. Now, I could not do that with black girls. And that's just the honest truth. That's my honest truth. I could not do that with black girls. Now, yes, I've had one night stands with black girls, but typically in those situations, it wasn't like a well-to-do, college-educated, in-college black girl. It would be a black girl from like the hood, couldn't get into college. She had been taken advantage of her whole life. She had a rough life. She had lost her self-worth, her self-esteem. Not a college-educated, well-to-do, finna have a good job black woman. I could not do that. That was just the honest God truth. And in high school, I had a white girl for a day, one white girlfriend that I had for a day. She had a black boyfriend who was 3 years older than me that she had been dealing with for 5 years. I shot game to her and took her from her boyfriend of 5 years in one day. And then I broke up with her. I just wanted to see if I could do it. And the reason why I wanted to do it is because the older black guy was kind of seen as like, one of the OGs. He used to bully me in football. And I was still mad that he grabbed by my jersey and body slammed me in football. Because when he was 10 and I was 7, it was my first year. And he used to dog me out. I was playing running back. So I still was mad about that. And so I took his girlfriend for a day, but I really didn't want to be with her. So I broke up with her. She went back to him. This is what a white girl did now. I have never had that success with a black girl. So I feel like there's this narrative because there's a certain type of black man that is not really respected by black women. And it's like he's respected, but he's seen as soft. Because the black race is such an intense race. When you look at our dances, you look at our personalities, you look at our attitude, even the truth that I'm telling is too real of a truth for a white man to share. A white man really can't share this kind of truth. White people really can't even talk about this kind of stuff because of white guilt, because of slavery. A lot of black people don't talk about this. And so there's a certain type of black man that a black woman saw growing up. Her father, her uncle, her brother, her cousin. She saw fights. She saw masculinity. She saw strength. She saw control. She saw toxic behaviors. And so there's this type of black guy who was just he's kind of passive. He maybe sat, by himself in class. He maybe wore glasses. He maybe got bullied. He maybe got overlooked because of his height, because of his build, because he didn't play sports. And so a black woman will see him and know he a nice guy, but because the fear of God has been put into her by some black men, and because some black men have asserted themselves, some black men maybe have taken advantage of her, her threshold of pain and what she sees and what she responds to as a man, from a man, it gets higher because of what she's had to endure and what she's had to experience. Not every black woman has that experience, so they can respect any man just as a human, just like she respects any woman. But some people have gone through so much pain that if it doesn't hurt, they cannot feel it. So when a guy comes in and he's super duper nice, her brokenness, because she has been broken in a way that a white woman has not been broken in. Her brokenness, she may be operating from pain. She may be operating from brokenness. And that's what the Nigerian woman said. She said, I see so many black women operating from pain. It does not mean that the black woman is not submissive. It does not mean that the black woman does not respect her man. It means that she has to be reached in a different way. And that's why I tell guys, that's why I tell men, In order to have her heart, you have to help heal her heart. And men say, well, I'm not finna help heal her. That ain't my job. And women say, I'm not finna help heal no man. That ain't my job. And that's the flaw in relationships. And that's why a lot of people are single, is because they don't feel like they need to do any work in a relationship. And they see themselves as perfect and ready. And they want somebody who is perfect and ready. And that's why they're single. Because nobody is going to be perfect and ready. And let me start using perfect. Nobody's going to be ready. Anybody who get in a relationship is not ready for a relationship, because there is no possible way you can be ready for a relationship if you have not been in training camp with a human being. See, the way you get ready for a game is you simulate the game every day in practice, and that prepares you for a game. But even when you get in the game, you still are learning on the fly, because you couldn't go full speed in practice, because otherwise you would have hurt each other. So when you get in the game, every game people get hurt, because you're going at a level that you have not went at in practice. And the teams who go at the same level in practice, they're going to lose some people, but they're going to be more prepared in the game. So it is impossible to be ready, completely ready for a relationship when you have been single. But you have to be single before being in a relationship. So therefore, when you get in a relationship, you still have to learn on the fly. And that is why a woman has to help a man heal, and a man has to help a woman heal after they have done all of the healing that they can possibly do on their own. There is something healing about companionship. And companionship brings a different type of healing than singleness. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. But single people, having not been in a long-term healthy relationship, don't realize that 15 years into marriage, I am still healing. My wife is still healing. And we are still helping each other and hurting each other based on where we are operating from that day. That process of healing does not end. And I don't care what no therapist tell you, or what no doctor tell you, because it's something about real life that you learn that you cannot learn from your degree, from reading books and taking tests and passing tests. And getting certified does not mean you know it all, because a real life situation will teach you some things that you did not read in that book in class when you were studious enough to study and pass that test and then get certified. That's why several of my clients are therapists. Several of my clients are psychotherapists. Several of my clients are professional certified clinicians who are a lot of times in the family and health space, but still do not understand love and relationships in the real world. That's why I know what I'm telling you. So listen to me. White women are not more submissive than black women. A woman is a woman. A woman is a woman. White women can be just as disrespectful, just as conniving, just as manipulative as any other race of a woman. And what you have to realize, and this is the thing, I'm talking to a guy in the DM. He sent me this long message about women wanting to be men. Women want to be men and all this. I said, when have you ever met a woman that said she wants to be a man? When have you ever met a woman that says she wants you to sit down and get pregnant and take care of kids, and she want to go to work and work her finger to the bone? I say that is propaganda by the world, by the government, to divide the man and the woman, to put us at odds so that they can divide and conquer. Because if they can divide us and we're not a unified front thinking about budgeting and thinking about getting out of debt, if we at odds, then we need retail therapy. If we at odds, then the men spend it and the women spend it and the country getting richer. They taxing us on every level and they making more money. But if the man and the woman is on the same page and they come together, it's going to be a lot less consumerism. It's going to be a lot less reckless spending. It's going to be a lot less control that the government will have when the people come together and connect and get on the same page. And that is why these propaganda movements happen, to create chaos, because the powers that be have more control when chaos is created. That's why chaos is created. And a lot of times when people say, oh, well, the government did this, government did that, government did that, that is true in a lot of cases, because there's control when you have chaos. And a lot of people don't realize that. But the same thing, that macro plays into the micro in the home, in the relationship. There's control from one party or the other when there's chaos. And so guess what? In the white race, black men assume that white women are more submissive than black women. And that's not true. Because in the white race, when you look into a white home, the woman runs the man. The woman calls all the shots. White women are not submissive. When a black man get a white woman, I saw a white lady explain this. And I was going to post a video, but it had been shared from different pages, and I didn't want to stamp the page that shared it. But the white lady, she said, white women feel secure with black men because she knows she has her whiteness over him. She knows that because she is white, he puts her on a pedestal and he sees her as special and more than. Whereas she doesn't have that same position with a white man, because he is of the same race, and white men are accustomed to dictating and dominating. But even that is off base, because in the home of white families, in most cases, the woman calls all the shots. And so a lot of times black women envy white women because black men do not allow black women to call all the shots. And when I am around black couples, the black woman could be vocal. She could be expressive. She could call shots, but she still knows who her man is and she respects her man. And I'm gonna tell you one thing that I have found. I receive more play, meaning more like affection or like attention from married white women than married black women. Like married white women, they will, it just happened yesterday. It just happened yesterday. And it happened the other day. And it happened not long ago. 2 instances I can think of talking to white married women, and they literally cupped my entire pectoral. Just like this. Because they feel a sense of superiority in a lot of cases over the black man, and they've been told that black men worship them or idolize them and see them as a trophy because of the type of black men that were in my comments, who put black women down and put white women on a pedestal. That has become true to white women because black men think the grass is greener on the other side. But now in the same instances, I talk to black women who are married, and they will talk to me in front of their husband, and they will talk passionately. They will be engaged. They will be all in the conversation, but they do not touch me. They don't touch my shoulder. They don't touch my chest. They do not violate my space. And the white woman will say, oh, that's just how we are. I didn't mean anything about it. But yet at this end of the day, I still was touched. And the black women do not touch me. And so what that is respect for their husband. And I can't say too much because a lot of times once people meet me, they find out what I do, and then they subscribe to my channel and they start watching my videos. And so I can't ever talk about like situations like that to where it's going to be somebody who coming to follow me, and then I'm using that example from real life. That's a little awkward. But that's just the truth of the matter. And so I want black men to stop the narrative. Because to be honest with you, I am really shocked. I'm honestly shocked and sometimes appalled at the level of submission black women give to black men. Because when you think about it, a lot of black men cheat. A lot of black men cheat. And a lot of black men beat. A lot of black men put hands on a woman. And a lot of black men are know-it-alls and controlling. But when a black woman get a man, she typically endures any and everything. She typically endures any and everything. And that is a form of submission. That's a level of submission. And even when you look in the celebrity world, Dwayne Wade had a baby on Gabrielle Union. Gabrielle Union stayed. Ludacris had a baby on his wife. His wife stayed. Like, you seen strong black women who could get money by divorcing and they stay. Like, you seen this happen on the large scale. But now look at your aunties. Look at your cousins. Look at your friends. Black women who get in a relationship, are putting up with hell and high water. But then black men say, this woman not submissive. Like, my wife done put up with more than she should have put up with. My wife done put up with a lot. And she's still with me. And I'm a good man. I'm considered a good man. Some might consider me a great man. And I still done too much. So imagine if a man is not trying to be better. He's not trying to grow. He's not trying to change. And his woman putting up with him. Look at a lot of these men who talking like this, who pushing this. And like the guy say, they wonder why 1 in 5 get married. The reason why 1 in 5 get married, for the large part, because 1 in 4 black men go to prison. 1 in 4 black men got a college degree. 1 in 4 black men, 2 or 4 black men like women. So when you look at the black woman, she don't have the same type of dating pool that a white woman has. Because a white woman is not losing her men to incarceration and to homosexuality from childhood trauma and to homicide from street gangs. A white woman is not losing her white men like that. So her marriage rate is going to be higher than a black woman, because a black woman is she's up against gang crimes, incarceration, low education or no education, and then traumatized, broken men, and then men who choose to be with men. And although the white race may have those same things, the Asian race, the Hispanics may have those same things, it's on a much lower scale. So we then are comparing apples to oranges. And that is not fair. That is not fair. And then see, this is the thing. Then men say, because I'm seeking to understand, because I'm stepping outside of myself and I'm looking at it from another perspective, that I'm pandering to women. No, I'm doing what I need to do in order to understand so that I can respect and appreciate and build with my black woman. If I take and I only see the world through my lenses, and I don't take the time to evaluate other perspectives and to look at the real life data, if I don't take the time to look at the real life data, then I'm doing myself a disservice. And I'm doing the black woman an injustice. And that's not fair. Because even when I talk to men, black men who have married white women, a lot of times their white woman has much more of a past, a sexual past, than my black woman. And that is understood. And they're able to talk about that. And a lot of times the black man is with a white woman and not understanding that to the white woman, the black man also is a novelty. And that white lady said, she said, many white women are with black men, but are still racist. This is what a white woman said. Guess what? I already knew that because I see it every day. I see it every day. And a lot of them black men that get with a white woman end up hating their own race and despising their own race, even if it's just despising their race of women. But some of them hate their whole race. And that's why they chose someone of another race. So what a lot of people don't realize is a lot of interracial dating is not organic love, which it should be. I'm not against interracial dating, and that's the thing that a lot of people get wrong. I'm not against interracial dating. I'm against dating from self-hate and being with another race because you despise your own race, because you hate yourself. And that's why a lot of black men who are with white women are with white women. And a lot of white women who are with black men are with black men because white men do not want them, or because the black man is who praise and put them on a pedestal because of her whiteness. And then the smallest percentage of interracial dating, maybe less than 30% of interracial couples, are from organic love, organic and authentic love. A lot of times, interracial dating comes from pain. It comes from self-hate. It comes from trauma. It comes from past pain. And that is a truth that we have to address. You got to address it, and you got to be honest and real about it. You got to look within. I just did a video not long ago talking about this, and I did not post it. And the next day I saw the exact example of what I was talking about. There was a couple online, a black woman and a white man. And what I said was true. The black woman is not the type of black woman that black men desire. And the white man is not the type of white man that white women desire. So these two people felt like outcast. They felt alienated. They felt ostracized by their own race. And in that, they found a common thread with each other. And they appreciated each other because there are strengths in our differences. So they saw their differences of being of different races, but they also saw their similarities of being mistreated by their own race. And that is where a lot of interracial relationships stem from. And so we have to stop thinking that being with another race makes us superior to our own race. That is asinine to believe that way. If you are with another race, great for you. God bless you. But if you think that makes you better than people of your race, or if you think that other race is superior to your race, you are operating from a place of delusion, pain, and self-hate. Because no race is better than another race, because we are all human and we are all flawed, and we just may have different flaws. And this is what we have to understand. So listen, this is very real, but I want to dispel the myth that white women are more submissive than black women. Because I'll be honest with you, I see men and white women that they do what they want to do. They do what they want to do with their man. They spend whatever money A lot of them don't have to work, but they spend whatever money they want to spend. My wife commented on all the time. She commented on all the time of how she can't spend the money that the white women spend on their skin and face and on the birthday parties and just buying whatever they want to buy. And absolutely not. Absolutely not. We're going to, yeah, you can spend a lot, but we're going to have a little bit of a budget. Yeah, I'm not finna just spend I'm going to spend a lot now, but this thing's going to be in. And I went to my white friend and I said, hey, man, and this is a real conversation. I say, so in the white race, is this what it's like? I say, your woman doesn't have to work. She doesn't have to cook. She doesn't have to clean. And then she also can spend what she wants to spend. And she can also hire a nanny and babysitters and house cleaners if a man has the means to do that. And my white friend said, yes, pretty much so. That's how it works. And I said, wow. I said, so how is that fair to you? And he said, it's not. And I said, so is that why so many white men have vices? And he said, yes, exactly. And then I talked to my wife about that. And I said, because she feel like I'm overbearing a lot of times. Like I'm overbearing or like controlling, like just too into the relationship. Like too mindful, too analytical, too into the relationship. And I said, you know why? I said, it's because I don't have a vice. I say the gentleman I was talking to, the white man I was talking to, and the white men he hang around, they all get drunk. Really, really, really drunk, almost on a daily basis. And a lot of men indulge in strippers. They go to the strip club. They indulge in pornography. They indulge in escorts or drugs, whether that's marijuana, whether that's cocaine, whether that's pills. And I don't have vices. So I am completely coherent and engaged in my relationship, in my finances, in my household, in the life of my children. I literally just spent an hour, could have been an hour and a half, talking to my 15-year-old, giving him a life lesson and lecture. Like I'm on that level with it. And then left that to come talk to you, and it's at 37-minute mark. You see what I'm saying? So when I said it to my wife, she jokingly said, well, you need to get a vice. Basically saying, when you get on my nerves sometimes, so you need to get a vice. I'm like, you want me to get a vice? And so, we laughed about it, but I think she was partially serious. And so that's what a lot of times women don't understand. A lot of black women who are what they call divesting. And see, the reason why I got to speak this, because I might be the only one speaking it. And I cannot discount the wisdom that God has given me and the perspective that God has given me. And so I got to share it, because if I don't share it, then the world is left with a void, because I felt something and saw something and realized something about the world that not everybody else realized. What a lot of black women who are divesting don't understand is that white man is not loving you more than the black man. That white man is getting his release outside of you. So he's with you and he's letting you do what you want to do. And he's catering to you and he's loving you and he's talking to you sweet. He's talking to you nice, but he is deeply into pornography when you're not around. He is deeply into sleeping with other women, cheating with other women, paying escorts, or deeply into gay pornography or other men. And a lot of times when the black woman feels like she's being pedestalized and she's being praised and she has all of this amazingness in this man, no, that man is still a man. His outlet is just different. He still has insecurities. He still has immaturity. He still has a heart. He still has needs. He still has desires, but he's just engaging in them differently. And that is the difference. And so when a man is in his relationship and he's focused on his relationship, it feels overbearing to a woman. The woman feels like, oh, can you shut up? Can you stop? Can you stop? You know, just being so, all these rules and all of this right here and all this right here. And the woman doesn't realize the blessing in that. She don't realize that having an engaged, intentional man, although it is annoying sometimes because of his budgeting or because of his, you know, what he's asking, that is far better than having a man who is super chill and relaxed and nonchalant because of what he is doing. My wife showed me this couple online, and on the reels, they look extremely happy. And my wife looks at this, and I know part of a woman looks like, man, they look so happy. And if a woman is not feeling happy, she will look at that couple and feel miserable. But because women cannot see men the way men can see men, the millions of women watching this couple cannot tell that this woman's husband is gay. But I can tell it immediately because men know men. So he is so chill and so nonchalant and so go with the flow and so relaxed because he doesn't want to blow his cover. Because if he looks deeply into his woman, if he takes the privilege he has in his marriage of looking at her DMs, looking at her messages, holding her phone, because there is no privacy in marriage, you won. If he takes that privilege, if he gets really into her life and her mind, then that means she's going to do the same to him. And he fears her doing that to him because she's going to find something that's going to blow her away because he in the men. But see, a lot of women can't see that. A lot of women can't see that. My sister, she know how I am. So she sent her daughter, who is grown now, she sent her to me when she talking to a guy to send me that guy pictures and to talk to me about that guy, because I could tell as a man, I could read that man inside and out. Because I know every type of man. Because I'm a man and I've been around men and I've been in locker rooms playing sports my whole life. So I know what type of man. I could tell how a man made. I could tell how he built. And then that gift was sharpened when I was in the streets hustling because I had to read a man in 0.5 seconds to see if he was finna do me harm or if I need to do him harm. And so that was even sharpened even more from living that lifestyle. Some men who don't live that lifestyle, that extra gift, or they didn't go to the military to be a sniper or a shooter, that part of their brain was not intensified and sharpened, so they struggle reading other men. And so it's a gift and a curse, because whereas my wife could be talking to a man and it's friendly and cordial for her, I could tell if that man is a pervert. I could tell if that man finna go home and be touching himself to the thought of my wife. I can tell, I can look at that man and tell that. I could tell if that man is sleazy enough or crazy enough that if he feel my wife talked to him too long or smiled at him too long, that he feel like he could make a move. Now, if he knows she married, now it's not just him trying her, it's him disrespecting me. And so now I can tell that this man want to lose his life. So I may bring that up to my wife and she may look at it like, oh, you jealous, or oh, you being extra, or oh, you reading too deep into this. But really it's me saying, I'm trying to spare myself because I don't know how I'm going to respond if this man make a move on you. So with this particular guy, don't be doing all that talking at the soccer field. Don't be doing all that kikiing. Cause this guy over here, he totally fine. You talk to him 45 minutes. I could tell, I could read him. This guy over here, hey and bye. Because that man gonna make me send him to meet his maker. Cause that man right there, I could tell it. And he might not be attractive. He might, and when I say attractive, I can't tell what attractive is, but I know what a woman likes in a man. He might not be that. He might not be, but I could just tell he a sleazeball. And I could tell that he may try my wife and get slapped by her. But then I got to do something to him. And when I touch him, he might not bounce back from it. So now I'm taking from my family. And we see this on the news every day. And so see, some women get frustrated with their man when their man is in tune to the world and in tune to other men, and they think their man is jealous and overbearing. And then those women will take and idolize or be covetous of another woman who her man seems chill and nonchalant. And what they don't realize is that man chill and nonchalant because of what he's hiding. And he don't want to be looked into. So he treat her the way he want to be treated. He don't want no inspection of his life because of how he living behind closed doors when she not looking. And that's why that woman got a free for all. So this lesson wasn't even supposed to go there, but it went there. So that's why I tell you, there's multiple lessons in my videos. But I want to relate that and let you know the same thing happens when a black man say, oh, a white woman is more submissive. Men who feel like that about that white woman, it's because of what that white woman is doing behind his back that he does not know. It's a lot of times that a white woman is with a black man and she is sleeping with other black men, or she's sleeping with other white men that she used to date when she was in high school or college. And the black man feels like because he barks orders and he tell her what to do and she go do it, he feels like she's more submissive, but really he don't know she got a knife in his back. That's the only time a man is going to feel a white woman is more submissive than a black woman, when that white woman got something to hide. Because a woman is a woman. Every woman, it don't matter about their color. Every woman want what she want. Every woman got feelings. Every woman got demands. Every woman got a list. Every woman want love. Every woman want to be respected. Every woman want to have some agency in her life and be able to call some shots. It ain't that white women don't want to have agency and don't want to call no shots and don't want to be respected and don't want to have no voice. So when you feel like your white woman is submissive and black women not submissive, the reason why I feel like the black woman is not submissive is because the black woman ain't that black woman that you judging this white woman against. That black woman is not hiding nothing from you. She telling you how she feel. She telling you what she want. She telling you what she thinking, and you calling that as being unsubmissive because she having a voice, because she's expressing herself. But what I have learned with black women and white women across the board, and when we say black and white, we lumping in this Asian and Hispanic and everything too. But we speaking in black and white, not gray. So what I have learned from black women and white women, the woman that you don't want, the woman you don't want is a woman who don't speak up. If your woman don't speak up, if your woman don't express herself, if your woman just shrink and she don't say, that's who you got to watch out for. Because ain't nobody putting up with everything. You want a woman that's going to express her mind. You want a woman that's going to speak up. You want a woman that's going to tell you how she feeling, tell you what she thinking. That's what you want in a woman. Because you want a human being, not a robot. If you want a robot, then you need to go talk to Elon Musk and pay him to make you a robot. If you want somebody that you call submissive and you think submission means not speaking up, not speaking her mind, not saying, I don't think this is a good idea, not saying we need to consider this. If you think that her doing that makes her unsubmissive, then you got a problem. You're not looking for a wife. You're looking for a lapdog. And you know what? My teammate, who was a running back, he said that to me in college. He said, bruh, you ain't looking for no girlfriend or no wife. You looking for a dog. Because that's how I was. I was controlling. And at that time, I was dealing with a white woman. And then guess what they showed me about that white woman? My homeboys, who was black boys, they showed me about that white woman. They showed, and I ain't saying this all white women, but this is the men who saying this, they saying this based off their personal experience. So I'm going to invite you and do the same thing with my personal experience. So that way you can see that your personal experience is not the only personal experience, and you can't paint everybody with no broad stroke because of your personal experience. And that's what I'm not doing. That's why I'm looking at this whole thing holistically. And so what my black homeboy showed me about this white woman, because I put her on a pedestal, and I said to my homeboy, I said, I bet you can't sleep with her. Cause boy, I got that on lock, boy. She faithful. I bet you can't sleep with her. Soon as I stepped out to cheat on her, he sent her a DM. Her roommate, which was a white girl, told her, if they can do it, we can do it. So she invited my homeboy over to the room and let him blow her back out. And then another time I was cheating on her, my other black homeboy, and this is why black men a lot of times can't build together and can't do nothing together, because we stab each other in the back. My other black homeboy would, because I took his spot on the football team, whenever I went to cheat on my white woman, he would IM her. We had AOL, instant messenger back then. He would IM her and say, Tony is with such and such, so that he could get leverage. He became her informant. So now he got this white woman. She using the black man as her informant. She using her whiteness over him on his blackness. He become an informant against his black brother because he wanted to be able to sleep with her. And so when he would tell her that, he also would tell the teammate I made the bet with, and then he would write her, and then her roommate told her, well, if he could do it, you can do it. Her being a college student, young, dumb, naive, remember she slept with me on the first night. So what should I have expected? But because of her whiteness, I was putting her on a pedestal and thinking that, and totally forgot that even though I slept with her on the first night, I was thinking that she would be faithful and trustworthy. Now, this is just a real truth. Now, I don't know who this offended. I'm sorry to the white women that's listening to this. I'm sorry to black women. But all I could do is be real. That's all I could do is be real. I'm just telling a real life story. I'm just telling a real life story. They need to give me a podcast on the whole TV network so we can have these real life stories. And so she slept with him, and then she went over to his room one time, and she slept with him and another one of my teammates. And when I talked to her about that, she told me that she slept with the one guy, and she slept with him on the floor. He put a shirt down on the floor, put her on the floor, slept with her. She told me the story because I told her I knew everything and she needed to tell me the truth. I ain't know nothing, but I used first 48 interrogation tactics, and she told me that he put on the floor. She said when she went to get up, my other teammate came and put his hand in her chest and laid her back down and forced himself on her. Now, why did you go to the room? When you walked in the room and you saw another man was in there, why didn't you leave the room? So you go to the room and there's two black men in there. You stay in the room and you agree to sleep with one of them, but say you're not going to sleep with the other one. So you willing to sleep with a man in front of another man. Now, this is a white woman now, and this is an everyday white woman. This is an everyday white woman that black men are painting with a broad stroke that all white women is better than black women, and that white women is more submissive than black women. And what I'm trying to tell you is you can't just do that. You can't just label that. And now the guy said, not all, but a lot. Okay, well, that little bit that you saying a lot is creating your narrative. And if you believe that enough to come on a public platform where somebody getting hundreds of thousands of views, the video that black man commented on then already been viewed 230,000 times in less than 24 hours. And this man come to comment that about the black women versus white women. He come to comment that publicly. That let me know that he feel that strongly, and that not all was just a throw off so that he could have a little road to say what he really feel. And so now here, this white woman is sleep with this black man, sleep with this other black man. But then guess what? She said the second black man forced her. When she said that, I said, well, if he forced you, then you need to be calling the police. You need to be telling on him. She's like, no, I don't want to do that because I fear him. I'm scared something will happen to me. I said, why are you scared of him? She's like, because they have dreadlocks. They have dreadlocks and they have gold teeth and tattoos. So now here come the narrative. Because he black, because he got dreads, because he got gold teeth, because he got tattoos, I'm intimidated by him. And that's why I slept with him. And so now that's the narrative. Now, guess what? If I was nasty, I could have made her go tell on him to get him arrested, to get him kicked out of college. I'm not nasty because she went over there herself and she's an adult. So if she don't want to tell, I'm not finna coerce her and make her tell so that she can stay with me. I could have did that. And a lot of men do that. And so the same thing happens is, this is why a lot of black men haven't been in prison, because the white woman slept with the black man because she wanted him. And then when she got caught by her white man, she told the white man he raped me. And the white man is either her boyfriend, her husband, or her father. And then those white men believing in their white woman and saying that I know my white woman will never, ever sleep with a black man. So he must have forced himself on her. And now in order to keep her name, she sacrificed the black man, and she goes to the police and say, he did this right here to me. Same thing like the woman who got Emmett Till killed has now come out and said she was lying. She lied on Emmett Till for the attention and the affection of her white men, her father, her brother, her boyfriend, or whoever it was, for their affection and attention, and to have the power to see them go and enact justice on her behalf. She had a life taken. And now she has admitted it. And I just read an article that says she will not be indicted, that nothing will happen to her. So they do not value that, even though this was a long time ago, and even though she came out to clear her conscience. So now she done clear her conscience, but the family of Emmett Till don't get the justice to clear their conscience. They don't get the justice. It's like, okay, she getting older, she about to die anyway. Go on, sit in prison then. Go on, sit in prison, let her spend the rest of her days for telling that lie. And that man lost his life. So now Emmett Till couldn't have kids. He couldn't have grandkids. His whole lineage has been erased because of what happened to him. And so this is what I'm trying to tell y'all black men, that this is dangerous for y'all to be speaking down on your own women and spitting in the face of your own women, because you come out of a black woman. And the black woman you come out of another black woman. And then here y'all lives in front of the world where we already trying to make it. We already trying to get ahead. We already losing. Y'all idiots, forgive me for calling names, come and spit in your woman's face and say, oh, she ain't submissive, but the white woman's submissive. So now the woman who been at the bottom of the totem pole since the beginning of time. Black women have been at the bottom since the beginning of time, because it was the white man, the white woman, the black man, the black woman. The black woman has been spit on. All the dookie run down the hill. The black woman got to clean it up. The black woman was the housemaid. The black woman was the nanny. More black women than raised white kids than white women have raised kids, because the white woman was the nanny. The black woman was the nanny. When my white girlfriend in high school broke up with me because her parents told her she couldn't be with a black guy in the year 2001, new millennium, she said, I know my parents are not racist because we have a black maid. The black woman raised her and her sister, but then her white parents told her she can't talk to black boys. She could be friends with black boys, but she cannot date black boys in the new millennium. So what you got to realize is, how you think a woman that is not even allowed to talk to you on average, that her entire race has disrespected you, hated you, discriminated against you, how do you figure this woman is more submissive to you than a woman of your own race? That don't even make sense. But what that woman is doing, and I said the same thing. When I was dating white women, I said the same thing. They give better gifts. They give better gifts because they're in a better economic position than the black girls, than the black women. The white women was given better gifts in high school and in college because their parents had money. But if I dated a black woman whose parents had money, she gave equally as nice of gifts. The white woman had a car because her family was in a better economic position. The white woman had a savings and a college fund because her family came from a better economic position. So therefore, it made my life better when I was with a white woman than a black woman, because the white woman would pay for the date. The white woman could buy the NBA jerseys that was $70, $80. The white woman could give me $100 bill. The white woman could let me hold her car because she come from a better economic position. But guess what? All three of these white women that I'm thinking of, that I'm talking about, that I dated, they were not desired by white men. And when I asked a white friend, how do you feel about this white woman that I'm talking to? He said, I don't feel about her because she is considered white trash. Me and this white man, we had a relationship to where we promised we would be honest with each other about race relations and about things so that we could help each other. We actually was starting to write a book called The Gray Area because we have very open, honest conversations. He said, we don't feel about white women because we see them as white trash if they will date a black man. And if a white woman is honest with you, a lot of white women will tell you that is true, that she is disowned by a lot of white people when she chooses to be with a black man. Some families are the exception to the rule, but on average, that's what happens. And even if her family accepts it, their brothers, her mom and daddy, brothers and sisters, probably don't accept it in most cases. But that's a truth that we don't really touch on, we don't speak on. And so this is what we got to understand. We have to stop self-deprecating, and you have to stop putting your own race down and pedestalizing another race because of your self-hate. And when you feel like something is different, like when you feel you get an advantage with another race, you have to get to the root of why that is. You got to get to the root of why that is. So the reason why a lot of white women treat black men perceivably better than black women treat black men is because those white women fear the black man, because the black man has been painted as a beast, brutal, criminal, aggressive. And so the white woman to the black man's face will respect him and appreciate him. But that does not mean she is not operating from stereotypes that she has heard about the black race. It does not mean that she is inherently a better woman than a black woman. It does not mean that she loves a black man more than a black woman. And that is what these black men, so many black men are peddling. And on the flip side, now is a lot of black women doing the same thing to black men and saying, oh, white men treat me better than black men. Well, if that is the case, you have to look at why. If a white man is treating you better, a lot of times it is because you are a fetish. Not because he's a better man than the black man, but you might not be a fetish to the black man because he used to you. He done slept with multiple of you. He grew up with you. His sister is black. His mama is black. So he's not fetishizing the black woman. But for a white man, in his white race, in his culture, the black woman is forbidden fruit. Blacker the berry, sweeter the juice, forbidden fruit. He got to sneak around. He got to go against the rules to be with a black woman. And a lot of time when a white man is with a black woman, he grew up around black men, and the ones who did not grow up around black men, they're white men who felt alienated and ostracized. So they get a black woman to stick it to their rich parents, to stick it to their family, to say, you didn't treat me right, you didn't respect me, you didn't love me. I'm going over here to the black race and I'm finna get me a black woman. You mad about it? Okay, take that. A lot of times that's what it is, and not organic and real love. But then this black woman who has been hurt by black men, who has been lied to, who has been beat on, who has been cheated on, who has been taken advantage of by black men, she will say, oh, because this white man treats me differently, he is a better, more superior race and man than the black men. And she doesn't get to the root and look at the difference in the pain, the difference in the trauma, the difference in the upbringing, the difference in the mindset, and what that black man come from and what he working through, and what that white man come from and what he's working through or not working through. And so that's what we have to start looking at. We got to stop painting with this broad stroke and just saying, oh, all the races like this and all the race like this, or most of the race like this and most of the race like that. And because we have one experience, we saying that's how everybody is. And we got to look at this worldview, got to look at it holistically, and we got to understand that each situation can be different. And also we got to get to the root of the situation, and we got to look at the factors that play into the situation. And we got to stop pedestalizing our race or another race or one gender over another gender. And we have to be very diligent in looking into this here situation. Now, what I want y'all to understand from my perspective is this is really hard for me to talk about, because I have black homeboys who have a white wife. My security guard got a white wife. My homeboy I grew up with got a white wife. So just last night in our suite, a lady we know is white and her husband is black. And me and him talking today on text message. So I want y'all to understand how real this is for me to address these issues, for me to address these conversations. This is very painful. This is very tough for me, because I could be losing friends. I could be losing people because they misinterpret, or they hear what I'm saying and they think I'm talking about them, or they hear what I'm saying and I could be. They could know more than me, and they could say, wow, Tony just hit on something, and that is what I did, or that is how I feel, or that is what's going on. Oh my goodness, he sees me, but I don't actually see them. I might not even know what they're going through, what they're dealing with, but I'm addressing the situation from my 15 years of experience of dealing with people worldwide and analyzing this worldwide and looking at thousands of cases, because my email still today got thousands of unread messages, but I done read thousands. So understand where I'm speaking from, and that this is not from a unintelligent or a ill-advised space. I'm in the trenches. I'm getting the research. I'm looking at this, and I'm gonna tell you, a black woman is not better than a white woman. A white woman is not better than a black woman. A white man is not better than a black man. A black man is not better than a white man. We are all humans, and each human down to the human has their own set of issues and problems. And that's what you have to figure out for yourself when you start to deal with somebody. That's what you got to figure out. And you got to realize what it is you want and what you can and can't deal with. Because I'm going to tell you, it can happen on both sides. And I have seen, I have dealt with black women who they'll just shut down. They won't say nothing, but they getting their revenge in the back. And white women have done the same thing. Now, I've seen it happen more with white women than black women in my instance. So the white woman I was with for 1 year, I cheated on her with 8 other women. One of the white women that I cheated on her with, she ended up being with my teammate who was a white boy. He came to me and said, hey, did you sleep with such and such? Me and her didn't actually sleep together. Nothing happened that night. But while I was in the room with her, my black teammate told my white girlfriend that I was in the room with her. The white girlfriend came and put a note on the door. I know you in the room with such and such. When you done, give me a call. But while I was in the room with that white woman and nothing happened because things didn't go right, my white girlfriend went back to her room, and my black teammate went over to her room and slept with her. When I went back to my white girlfriend's room, she hadn't changed shirts. I thought it was strange and it was a little different, but it didn't come out till later when my black teammate, who was mad at me because his girlfriend liked me, and the black teammate that was telling my white girlfriend, I took his spot. He was older than me, but the coach put me in the depth chart higher than him at running back. And so all of this was just because of jealousy and hate. It was just jealousy and hate that was stirring all this up between us black men. And the white women was the pawns on the chessboard. And the black teammate who slept with my white girlfriend, one of them had a white girlfriend because he from a white area. The other one had a black girlfriend. So he was cheating on his black girlfriend with my white girlfriend. And my white girlfriend was cheating on me with black men. And I was cheating on her with other white women. But the white women that I was cheating on her with all knew her. They all knew her. And the reason why I cheated with them is because all of her homegirls hit me up. So me being greedy, me being selfish, and me not caring for her, I didn't really care for the white girl I was with because I wasn't at that stage. I'm a college football player. She went and started bragging to her teammates and to the sorority girl. She wasn't in the sorority, but she was friends with them. And so it started to circulate around the campus that Tony is like this in the bedroom. And so when she told all of them started DMing me. I'm not DMing, IMing me, instant messaging me and saying, hey, how are you? You want to chill sometime? And so now I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't realize why all of these white women was coming to me. I later found out through my black teammate who was the informant. He had a Asian girlfriend who ended up being roommates with my white girlfriend. The Asian girl told my black teammate that my white girlfriend was telling every girl that she knew around the campus about my package and about me in the bedroom. And that's why all of them started hitting me up. So I ended up cheating with 8 other women while I was with her for that 1 year. After I found out she slept with 5 other men that I knew of, that I found out about, not to mention the ones that could have happened that I didn't know about. Like when she went home on vacation or whatever, on break. I wanted to get as far from a white woman as I possibly could. So I went to the one black woman on the campus that looked half decent. There wasn't a black woman on the campus. It was so few. There wasn't a black woman on the campus that I was like really attracted to. And it just, because it was just so few of them. And it was not any that I was attracted to. I wasn't attracted to the white women either. But it was a small private college. And so the looks just was not there. And based on where I was in my life. And so I went to the black young lady. When I was with her for 2 years, I cheated on her with 26 other women. 26 other women. And she never once cheated on me that I know of. And I was able to find stuff out and realize stuff because I was playing the game so I could read between the lines. Now, she came to me and admitted to me that she went to the movies with her ex-boyfriends. More could have happened. More could have happened, but she told me that. This was a black woman. The white woman never told me that she did anything. She made like I was the only man on the face of this earth. The black woman came to me and said, I feel guilty. I need to admit something. And she told me that she went to the movies with a guy that she went to high school with that she used to talk to. And then she told me she talked on text with another guy. She told me that. And then when she told me that, of course, I'm mad, I'm angry. So then I tell her, well, hey, I messed around and slept with this one girl while we was on break. She's like, okay, we had promised not to get mad. Because she didn't get mad, I went ahead and told her about a second one. Because she still ain't get mad. Because see, y'all know from men, when we young and immature like that, I was 19 years old, we want revenge. And when we want revenge, we want that revenge to hurt bad. Y'all know what I'm talking about now. She still ain't get mad. So then I told her about a third one, and that's when she started to cry. She cried then. She was hurt. And that made me feel better. Because I was hurt off just her, and she admitted to me. So see, what I try to help y'all understand is I'm not these boys that's online doing this talking, and they looking like Kermit the Frog and looking like Cookie Monster and just sitting on here yapping jaws and ain't never did nothing. A lot of these boys, I could look at these boys and tell that they would be virgins if they weren't paying for it. But yet got to be spewing this stuff and talking about this stuff. I was really out there nasty. I was really out there living this here thing. This where I'm speaking from, this in the field training. I was boots on the ground. And these real stories I'm telling you, I ain't making up numbers like the boys on the podcast talking about, oh yeah, I went to this place and then I smashed this one, I smashed that one, I smashed that. I ain't bragging about that. Because that's a place of weakness. I was weak. I was lost. I was dumb. I was a punk. I was immature. I ain't proud about that. But guess what I had to do? I had to turn that pain into purpose. I had to turn the mistakes into lessons. I had to turn the losses into lessons. So that's where I'm teaching from. So I want y'all to understand, like, listen, all of us ain't the same. And that's why my talks, that's why my insight and my wisdom, that's why it can go deeper. That's why it can go deeper than what a lot of these guys talking about. Because they ain't never really lived nothing. They dealing with pornography. They dealing with magazines. They dealing with women they had to pay for. They dealing with women that they bought out of their league, and then a woman cheat on them because the woman never wanted them. But because they could take the woman on expensive dates and she had a scarcity mindset and she was a gold digger, when they get cheated on, now they want to paint the whole race of women because of what happened to them from that one woman. And that ain't the case. So listen, I know it's good white women, it's good black women. It's good black men, it's good white men. And it's bad on every side too. And that's what we got to understand. And stop putting one race against the other, putting one race above the other, putting one gender above the other. And let's get in, learn for ourselves, do the work in our individual situations in life, and be better. Point blank, period. Hey, this Tony Gas. I'm sorry to go this long, but when you touching on something this deep, you really got to be able to talk through it and share real world, real life, really go a little deeper. I apologize that it's this deep, that we went this deep into time. But I can't do something like this in 7 minutes, 15 minutes. And that's how you know these men that be on here yapping their gums don't know what they talking about. Because for one, they got to sit in a circle with other men and bounce stuff off of other men to be able to even talk about something for an extended period of time. And then two, when they talk by themselves, they only got enough insight to talk for 3 minutes, 7 minutes, 15 minutes, and then the video over, because they ain't got enough depth of understanding or enough experience, enough real world experience from themselves, and then enough experience from being a professional in this space. But they just yapping their gums, but then putting it out online and trying to create this narrative. And it's tearing us up from the inside out. So listen, to the fellas, if you're not going to be entrenched in this, if you're not going to really be boots on the ground and learn, if you're not really going to be open-minded and look at different perspectives and try to really do the math and really do the science, then you need to shut up. Don't just spew hate against black women and pedestalize white women, or vice versa. And the same to the women who doing it, dogging the black men, but then pedestalizing the white man. It's like, okay, if black men is dogged, then address that and help us address that, like tell us that, but don't put a white man on a pedestal just because you ain't experienced and you don't know the depths of a white man, because he'll end up putting you through just as much, if not worse, than the black man. but you ain't had no experience with it and you don't know it. So don't just say, oh, black men is trash just because you done been hurt. You see what I'm saying? We got to stop doing that on both sides of the aisle, men and women. And that's why it's happening. That's why it's happening. Because a lot of black women saying black men is trash. So then the black men saying black women trash. And then vice versa. The black men saying black women is trash. So then the black women say, okay, well, black men trash then. And then we just throwing rocks across the aisle instead of sitting down and having a real dialogue and getting to the root of the matter. So, hey, thank y'all. I apologize. God bless you. Apologize for the length of this. I'm sorry, you know, if I'm gonna get canceled and lose friends and lose people, but I just got to call it down the middle. I can't be effective in the kingdom and help us come to the realization we need to come to if I'm mincing my words and biting my tongue and choosing sides just because of my alliances or because of who I know in the real world. I got to address it for how it is and what I see, regardless of, you know, who get offended. And we'll just have to talk through it. So, hey, this is Tony Gasson. God bless you. We'll talk soon.